Yo, what's going on, everybody? Little late night action. It's going down, baby. It's going down. What's going on, everybody? Game time, Brian here. We are waiting for people to enter the room. Everybody grab their glass. I got water, but everybody grab your drink and settle in. We'll talk some football. We'll talk whatever you guys want to talk about. Susan, Susanna, how are you? Susanna from the Philippines is in the house. Everybody say hello to Susanna. Oscar Perini, we got West Virginia Country Boy. Alina, Jimbo. Brian May, a.k.a. Chris May. What's up, brother? Andrew Summers, Jameson Taylor, Arturo Gomez. What's going on? Isaac Ramirez was in the house. What's going on, everybody? We're just getting started here, waiting for people to hop in the Zoom call. Hopefully we get some Zoomers in here tonight. Just wanted to talk, the Super Bowl is over. We're getting ready for the hustle and bustle. Chris is fine. Chris, Brian May. We got a Beach Boy in the house here. It's funny, just looking at some of the headlines here. Joe Burrow keeps pressuring the Bengals to pay their best players. Now, what I would tell you is either you're going to pay your best players or you're not going to pay your best players. At this point, I don't see Cincinnati signing T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. They got to sign them both. Everybody thinks Dallas is in a world of hurt. Okay. Other than Fredericks on the defense and Joe Burrow, you got Joe Burrow. They can't seem to keep that team happy, together, anything. So I don't know that that's going to be an issue or not. What's up, Raymond Walker? How are you, man? We're just chilling, a little late night stream. We'll do some mock drafts a little later when if anybody comes in. If not, I'll do it myself. We're all good. But yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow is pressuring the organization to sign their weapons. At least we're seeing Joe Burrow in the headlines asking for it. Will it happen? I don't know. But, Joe Burrow was close to saying, well, why sign me if we're not going to bring back all of our weapons? And that's all I'm asking Dak Prescott to do. All I'm asking Dak to do is I'm asking Dak to do what Joe Burrow's doing. I like what Burrow was doing, but Cincinnati has been notoriously cheap. Yes, Jimbo, and so is the Cowboys. In my opinion, so has the Dallas Cowboys. Let me see what that is. Oh, I can get rid of that. Oh, I deleted the wrong one. I deleted the wrong thing. Oh, well, I'll have to add it. But yeah, Dallas is cheap too. Honestly, I do. I think Dallas is cheap as well. So again, I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. Dallas is cheap. What's up, Daniel? How are you? Game time. Any chance we get Miles? There's always a chance. When your best player says, go get Miles Garrett, I'm sure they're talking about it. I'm sure they're having internal discussions. Will they ultimately do it? Probably not, but I think there is a chance. I do think there's a chance. But I wouldn't hold your breath. I would say the chance is slim. Plus, Miles said he wanted to go to a winner. Look for a team that's maybe a little bit closer. What's up, Danks 9000? How are you, man? So yeah, Cincinnati is out there saying that that they want their stars signed. That's all we're asking Dak to do. That's all we're asking Dak. And I don't know what's going to happen. They got one of the best quarterback receivers and one of the best pass rushers in getting extension to. Again, Oscar, they haven't done any of that though. The only body they have signed under contract uh, is their quarterback. The other three guys, I believe, the edge rusher is due for a payday as well. But I mean, I'm not positive, but I know both receivers are. So I don't think they sign them both. I think they sign Jamar Chase, but why would Jamar want to be there if Higgins is going to walk? Why would Joe Burrow want to stay there? I mean, he's not going nowhere, but don't you want your players to be happy? So that's all I'm saying. Let's have Dak Prescott start doing what Joe Burrow is doing. Sorry, that's what we need. And Dak has, come out and said we need to be more consistent running the ball. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously. That's an easy one, Dak. That includes you, brother. You need to run the ball too. Thanks. What the Cincinnati's defense? Yeah, and they need to add a lot of pieces. So, I mean, they have Fredericks, right? Is that his name, Fredericks or Fredrickson? Yeah, or Hendrickson, due for a contract also. So, I mean, Oscar, you see what I'm saying? And they have a lot of holes. Yet everybody says that they're further along than Dallas. I don't believe it. Why? Because of Joe Burrow? Oh, I mean, okay, they barely beat Dallas with Joe Burrow with a skeleton team this year. It took an act of God and a dumbass and Owawarrior to go in and touch the football after it was blocked or the game was over. So, I don't really. What's up, Bruce? How are you, man? What's going on? Yeah, number one, Skip Bayless is a fool, but I'm glad he did what he did. Skip Bayless is a punk bitch, to be honest with you. I don't know how Aikman years ago didn't drop that little bitch, but anyway, and then now, so Dak's talking about, oh well, we got to run the ball, we got to run the ball. Okay, I mean, I get it, I do get it, but it's a little ridiculous if you ask me. A little ridiculous. Let me see if I can change my camera now that I screwed it up. Oh, I can. Okay. I just got to fix my picture in picture. But yeah, that's all I'm really saying. CZ, what's up, brother? How are you? I like if the Jones don't get now, they are not going to spend top dollar. Arturo, yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you. Big time. West Virginia, Dak is a joke. I just want him to be more vocal, man. He's signed up with us now, so we have no choice but to be on board with Dak Prescott. I mean, at this point, it's Dak or bust right now. But Dak saying we got to be more consistent running the ball. Well, okay. I mean, that's obviously. It is cold out, CZ. It is cold out. Wow. These headlines are crazy. Bills running back James Cooks wants $15 million a year. Wow, I don't see that, Randy. But
I don't either.
Geez,
my God,
this is all the more reason if you're not going to trade for nobody to draft Ashton Genty. But I really do. I wish we would trade. I really, after having that conversation today, Randy, I wish we would
trade Parsons for Cleveland's number one and trade Cleveland's pick down and get another first rounder. I mean, we could do a lot with that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. The more I think about it, and I'm because I know a lot of the chat or Eagle fans or any other fan of a team will say, "Oh, you're not getting Myles Garrett." I don't care about Myles Garrett. I mean, I'll stand by what I said earlier. I'm not saying Myles Garrett per se. You got Jeffrey Simmons. You got Myles Garrett. There are other options out there. There's probably other options that I'm not thinking of. I just want this team to think outside of the box. Thanks 9,000. History says no, right? Recent history says no. but I don't know that. Hey, Logan, how are you? I don't know. Hey, Karen, how are you? Um, well, Karen says, "Hey, game time. Cowboys fan for 40 plus years here, bleeding silver and blue for life and slowly bleeding out." Me too, but again, Karen, we can't let this team get us that down. I hear what you're saying. We all want to win, but you know what I mean, Karen. It is what it is. Yeah, Jerry can't live forever, can he? What up, game time? What's going on, Philly D? Yeah, just chilling, man. Just chilling. I figured I'd do a stream. We'll go as long as we feel like we want to go. Just talking about the topics of the day. We're talking about everybody, really. I started off with Joe Burrow pressuring. Remember Randy, I was asking Dak to do that. And, headlines is Joe
Hmm.
Burrow keeps pressing the Bengals to pay their players. Well,
Well,
that's all I'm
that should
asking
be
Dak to
Dak.
do. That's all I'm asking him to do. I'm not saying it's going to get it done, but we need to apply as much pressure as possible on this organization. And if
What,
it,
what,
you know,
don't you think with Dak being the head of the team, being the highest paid player in football right now, that he
football.
should be responsible to his team and the fans to say, we need this, Jerry. We need this, Stephen. If you don't want to do that, then don't put the burden on me. Because you know what? Dak can't do any more than what they give him.
He's not a guy, and most quarterbacks aren't. I would say Jalen. I love Jalen. Jalen just won a Super Bowl. I'm not here to crap on Jalen, but I think Jalen needs pieces around him. I mean, can we not agree that he needs
Yeah.
pieces around him to be successful? Nothing wrong with it. There's not many Tom Brady's out there who could just switch out every year after year after year after year. Or Mahomes, you saw, couldn't get it done because the Eagles surrounded with so much talent, especially on the defensive side. Not counting the Eagle lady who had a damn voodoo doll that was sticking. I don't know if you saw it, Randy. They showed video. She was in the stands with a Patrick Mahomes voodoo doll, just jamming him in the chest. So yeah, I saw that.
I
So
wonder if she's from New Orleans.
I don't know. She's from Philly, but it cooked up some. Yeah, Logan saw it. She cooked up some home cooking. I'd have never activated my voodoo dolls.
You know what? I don't
It's
believe in
good to
messing
have a
with
good
that
GM.
juju. That's bad juju. I
It
don't.
is.
It's just like
What's
Ouija
up,
boards. I don't mess
Yasi?
with Ouija boards either. You know, but
Kingship Operations. Good morning from England. Good morning,
dang,
Kingship. Good morning. Welcome to the show. I think I've seen you here before. Uh, good morning. Hope you enjoy your. Do you drink coffee, Kingship, or are you just strictly a tea guy? Yasin, the link is from earlier this afternoon. So just use that link. Yasin, just use the afternoon link. Momo, I still haven't gotten your email. Brian, where is that link? Yasin, it's just use the afternoon link. Here, I'll repost it again. Let me see here. Like I'll post it in the let's see. Posts. Boom. Copy. Paste. Oh god.
yeah, there's certain players now that are starting to drop on the board, and certain players that are starting to rise. It's starting to shape up some.
Yeah. I agree. I just posted it again.
Yeah, I got the text when I just got it.
Yeah, it's the same link. What's up, Twiz? I wonder if Cowboy Joe Boo is activated. Nah. I think he's the problem, Karen. Quite frankly, I should have lost his head when
You
I was
tried.
yeah. Yeah, I was driving the RV to Texas, and Joe Boo was looking at me. His head was kind of dangling off of his body. I should have just opened up the window and threw it out the RV. Maybe we would be fine. But I couldn't do that to Mark's mascot. Yeah, I know. I hear you, Bruce. Mark could have done the same with that voodoo doll he has, except he just bones up. Yeah. Twiz, what's up, man? Jobu making the real voodoo gods mad. Yeah. this is true. Jimbo, Mark's been drinking Joe Boo's rum. I had some Joe Boo's rum when we were at Stewart's funeral. Um, yeah, yeah, Timothy. I remember that like it was yesterday. Looking back at it now that I know about RVs, because I've been looking at them. You know, we were overweight. Looking at them. You know, we were overweight, and you know, we were going through Tennessee. We're going through the mountains, and they were doing road construction. So I'm in a huge RV. We got like 7 people in a small ass gas RV, way overweight, and we're going down the cliff, and there was a guardrail, and there was cones inside the line. So it was either go off the cliff, right, or hit a cone. Mark's like, "You got to hit the cones. You got to hit the cones. You got to hit the cone." And I'm like, boom, boom, boom. I mean, I probably hit like a half dozen cones. AKA, yeah, that's why he calls me Cone Boy. I'm like, what? Did you want me to run off the guardrail, and kill everybody? Well, I mean, I don't know what you want. Weirdly, having a T on call for a shift, so I thought I'd check in. Well, Kingship, thank you for checking in, buddy. I really do appreciate from over the pond. Who is your favorite team, Kingship? Do you root for NFL football? If you do, who do you root for? Just curious. Let me guess. Jacksonville Jaguars. London's team, right? Isn't that London's team? They play there every year.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Hey, how are you, man?
I'm pissed off, man. Really, I'm but Dak Prescott, man, unbelievable. Being a company man, it's too.
Well,
it's too
all right.
much.
So you agree with me then?
I agree with you 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, unbelievable, and he's supposed to. He's paid for the next 4 years. Okay, yeah, he has
Eagles,
to ask
good
for
you,
help.
Kingship.
Look at the Eagles, man.
Well, and I know it's asking it a lot. I know it's only one. He didn't even want to talk. If you heard him at the Troy Aikman, Roger Staubach benefit, they raised money for that charity. He wanted no part of asking or like answering any kind of questions when it came to Dallas. They were trying to get him out of there. And you saw, I was just reading headlines. Joe Burrow keeps pressuring the Bengals to pay their best players.
Unbelievable.
Again, I'm not asking him to do anything, and all the Dak defenders get upset, but open your mouth, Dak. You're not the highest paid player on the team. You're the highest paid player in the league.
I'm going to say something. Remember, I said the Eagles were the best team in the league. Okay, and everybody was picking Detroit. I said the Eagles are the best team in the league.
I was wrong.
Yeah, I said if the Eagles played Detroit, they would have won by 10 points or more.
Well, yeah,
that's how good the Eagles were.
I think Detroit was so beat up.
I'm kind of upset with you, by the way, Brian, because Jalen has the 2 world-class receivers, a great tight end, the best running back in the NFL in the last 30 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And the best offensive line in the league. So he's no Dak Prescott, but he's a good quarterback, but he's got support. Okay.
Yeah.
And remember the Rams game?
Yes.
The playoff game. Not the Rams. That was the Rams game.
The Eagles.
The Rams were playing man to man with AJ, and he never threw at AJ. AJ was wide open throughout the game.
Yeah, well, I was a little critical of him, and like I said, I won money. I won money because I picked him as the MVP, just because I know how they like to pick MVPs for the Super Bowl. He didn't have a bad game, but he
had a great game.
Well, I don't think Jalen. I wouldn't call it great.
No, I wouldn't.
Because he had 221 yards.
He didn't have to have a great game.
He had 2 touchdowns. He had the red zone interception. He ran the ball great. I think the MVP really should have been Josh Sweat. But it doesn't matter. They don't do that.
No, they don't do that. Yeah, they don't. But and the KC just gambled. They made sure that Barkley didn't beat them. So they had like 8 men in the line of scrimmage throughout the game, and they took advantage of it.
Yeah. KC had an easy schedule, and it showed when they played in the playoffs.
I know that, Randy, but I don't want to have revisionist history and say, "Oh well." Kansas City wasn't that. They still had Mahomes. We all agreed. Most of the people watching picked, not us, not me and you, Randy, but a lot of people were, even the media, all the so-called experts were all picking Kansas City. I knew
Not
better.
me. I was picking the Eagles. I picked the Eagles before the postseason started. I can't stand the Eagles, by the way, but I'm an objective. I love football.
You have to be objective.
I'm an objective fan, and I will tell you, if they're better than me, I will say they're better, and they're better than us.
I'm gonna say something.
Go ahead,
that
man.
people. Two things. I never thought Mahomes as good as they say he is, because Mahomes, if you see how Mahomes run, I don't know how long he gonna last in this league with that body. Because when he's run, it seems like he's hurt. Mahomes. If you look at how his body when he's moving, running down the field, he's lumbering. He running, and then when he falls like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
That's not good.
It's also hard to hit Mahomes. He protects himself.
Again,
he always goes out of bounds.
Okay, here's my thing with Mahomes. I don't think he's good as like that. I think Mahomes he's got away with a lot of stuff, throwing the ball behind his back, doing all these crazy angles he throws.
What's up, Timothy?
I just don't think he's as good as he is.
Again, here's my thing right now, though, Momo. I think it's bad timing to.
I've been saying this.
I know for you, but I'm just saying as much as I want to break down stuff and say this or that about the Eagles, they just won the Super Bowl. So
right.
me personally, I would sound like a fool to come out and say, well, this and that. I know Jalen, he's a winner, but
I understand his a winning ability,
but
I don't think he should be.
He needed every piece out there, but they reminded me of the '92 Cowboys, that Eagle team, because the defense. Like I
totally agree with you. They look just like us back in the 90s.
It was the defense.
We ran first, we threw second, and we played defense. Think about what we saw, and they look like they're going to be there on top of the perch for 2 or 3 years.
You would think, but we'll see what they do, and it could change quickly. It doesn't take much.
And getting back to Cincinnati Bengals cannot afford to pay 2 of those wide receivers big time. T. Higgins that money. They can't afford it.
Why not?
The only team in the league that is smart enough to pay 2 top-notch receivers are Howie Roseman and the Eagles.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about getting $30+ or $40+ million a year. They can't afford to get Higgins that kind of money.
Well, actually, they'll save money in the first year of the deal, Momo, because they paid. Yeah. I mean, they'll save money in the first year or two, believe it or not. And the salary cap goes up.
I somewhat agree.
You could do whatever.
I somewhat agree with. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What's up, Daz? What's up, George DC for life?
I somewhat agree with Momo, but the problem is Cincinnati has kind of been like us. They don't pay their damn.
They're cheap. Mm-hmm.
They're cheap.
Here's the deal, though. Here's the deal. And I said this, and he didn't read my comments, so I don't know. Angry Cowboy. I was watching him while I was setting up the broadcast here. Eagles had $70 million in dead money. Dallas had 20. That's all you need to know. Eagles were willing to give out contracts, cut their bait, pay the price, move on to the next guy. Dallas gets gun shy. But to compare Dallas and Cincinnati is ridiculous, because Dallas has an endless flow of money. And the salary cap is ridiculous.
Right. We have an owner that don't like to spend it, though, Brian.
The Dallas is number 1 in the league in revenue. Cincinnati is 30th.
Right. So, and I'm not saying you can't compare them. Yeah, I agree why you compared them, but but Dallas has the money to compete with anybody times 10. It's not about that. It's wanting to. And
remember, I said a couple of weeks ago. And the number 2 team in the league in revenue are the Rams. They're $600 million behind the Cowboys. $600 million.
Think about that, people.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Let me ask you something then. Okay. Having said what we said about the receivers on Cincinnati, how much? Okay. CeeDee Lamb got what, 40 million a year? How much is going to?
I don't see you in there, buddy. Try again, Jesse.
Chase is going to get between 40 and 45 upwards, don't you think?
CeeDee got 34 million.
34 million. Okay.
Yeah, and Justin
So
Jefferson got 35 million.
Chase is the best receiver in my opinion in football.
Yeah.
What is he going to get? 40
No,
million?
I think he'll get in the high 30s, but I'll take Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. Oh,
I'll take either one.
but
Be
I
honest with
think we're missing the thing with Dak Prescott in the long term. Here's my thing with Dak Prescott. I think it's not about it's the contract because in NFL is the only sport that none of your contracts are guaranteed. So they can literally cut him today.
That's impossible because his guarantees, he's getting 231 million guaranteed.
Doesn't matter.
Who we talking?
They will
Dak
cut.
Prescott?
They could cut.
Nah, it would be
NFL,
$97 million hit.
Yes, that's fine.
No,
what
it's
I'm
not.
saying
Not
to
this
you,
year you can. Next year you could.
Well, yeah, the NFL.
Listen, Momo, technically you're right, they can, but they're not. Next year would be
that's
the
the only league,
earliest possible year. It's 67 or 62,
Well,
something like that.
Yeah.
Brian,
Well, I'm saying,
$231 million guaranteed.
There's no okay. Oh, the NFL,
You don't need to get rid of them now.
Most of the contracts are not guaranteed. It's like what Dak got was really good. What another quarterback got was pretty good, but most of the contracts are not guaranteed.
Not for these quarterbacks. And Dak Prescott,
signing
No
bonus is all
contract is
guaranteed.
guaranteed.
The
No
signing
contract is guaranteed.
bonuses.
$231 million of Dak Prescott's. Only $9 million is not guaranteed.
Yes,
guys, I'm here.
yes.
What's up?
The biggest problem they had with Dak is they gave him a no trade clause. I would have never given him a no trade clause at all. They could have given him the money, but at least you could trade him away if you have to. But now you can't do either.
Randy, you know why that happened? And after his cheap contract when he was a 4th-round draft pick, they franchised him, twice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they franchised it. Then after they franchised him, once you franchise a player twice, you can't franchise him again.
Yeah,
and that's when Jerry gave him this stupid guaranteed contract.
Well, what a lot of people don't realize is the first 4 years of his career, he made $6 million. Or it wasn't a.
Yeah. Well,
when I say it wasn't a whole lot of money,
it was $4 million, Randy.
That's Dallas.
Yeah.
That's
Dallas being stupid and not
yeah.
paying him early. Say, give him a 10-year contract for $20 million.
Let's put it this way: if Jalen Hurts were to hit the bargaining table now,
that's Cat Boy.
Yep.
Then it would be like what Dak is being made. But they were able to sign him early, and money now earlier in the contract is worth it to a player.
Remember, Dak Prescott made $600,000 his first 3 years, $2 million his 4th year. Mm-hmm. We didn't do shit. Okay, we didn't.
And that's where we made our mistake. We could have paid him $20 million a year for 10 years, and he'll still been on a contract.
He would have been happy with it.
Yeah, he would have been.
I don't know. Philly D has a question. Did they offer him a contract after?
They never did.
You paid him another extra money with that bum leg? Oh, God.
Just real quick, we got some good news as far as I'm concerned. Jason Witten has come out and said that he never talked to Jerry about the Cowboys coaching job, but hopes to one day. He's not ready. He has kids in school. He has one going to college, one going to high school. He's not ready yet.
Oh, hell no.
So it wasn't time. Hey, Ward family,
if he wants to coach in the league, he has to start as an assistant coach.
Yeah, he will. He'll start. He should do what Dan Campbell did. It's everybody around the Cowboys. Oh, Jason Witten. Jason never said that. Jason, he's a good guy. He's not ready to be a coach with the Cowboys for his family reasons, and I respect it. I'm glad that he didn't want to, and they shunned him because whatever we think, I think he could be.
They just threw around the wall, see if it stick.
Well, yeah, I think they're just trying to put out narratives.
Yeah, I believe so too. I don't think Whitney ever did it. I don't care what Dion said on that Shannon Sharp show about that he was close. He thought about it. Dion had no inkling of becoming the Cowboys because Jerry was never going to allow him to take control of the of the team. Period. So I don't know.
That was Shannon Sharp.
No, we're talking about Dion.
Dion never wanted to coach the Cowboys.
Well, he would have if they would have gotten his son. But if you would have known, we just signed Dak. That was not happening. It was all a horse and pony show to get more money from Colorado.
And Dion ate it up.
Dion, there's no way Dion and old Jerry would get along.
Well, I
think they would get along.
Yeah,
I think they would get along. I just don't think Jerry will relinquish the keys to the kingdom to him.
Definitely.
Jerry's pathetic. Can't stand that man.
Hell, I'm the same way with Steven. So
this would be Jerry Jones versus what's his face 2.0.
Yeah. I'm familiar with Jerry Jones going back to the first day he was with us, February 25th, 1989. I remember that day as if it was yesterday.
Yeah, I remember watching that that news conference. That's why it was kind of cool.
I remember it was a Saturday, and it was. I saw something in the evening. They said Tom Landry was fired. What? Jerry couldn't even wait for Tom Landry to come back to Dallas to fire him. He flew all the way to Austin. Yeah. He went to a golf course and fired him while he was playing golf.
Remember watching that news conference. Remember the initial we must win. We're going to win. Winning's in the name of the game. And you had that banner that was behind him, the old school blue with white cowboy banner. If you go into the Star, they have it framed on the wall. So that's a cool piece of nostalgia, that same banner that they would always have at Valley Ranch. It was neat when you go to the Star. It's in the media. It's on the wall in the media room. But, yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday, man. How time flies. It's just crazy.
How old is Jerry, by the way?
82.
82. Yeah.
82.
He's going to turn 83 in the fall.
His son looks like he's 80 also.
Yeah, his son. That's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it's catching up to him.
Unbelievable. The guy's 4 years old. He's 25 years older than me, man.
Daz, I couldn't handle that, man. I would have went off, but they're all buddies.
The football
by the way,
come on, guys. He's old enough to be eating
check the comments. In the chat on here, I did put my email up there again.
Where is it? Does anybody see his email? Because I don't see it.
I put it up there when I was in here in the chat.
Does anybody see Momo's email?
Here, email.
It's
okay,
not,
I typed it in here, not on.
You typed it in where? Oh,
in the meeting room.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Here he is at old 7,545.
Why don't you just screenshot it to Brian?
I got it now. I'm going to write it down. I got it. I got you now. I thought you meant in the chat.
I meant to say the Zoom chat.
Yeah. I got it.
Steven is only 60 years old, but God, he looks like he's 75.
He looks like he's 80, man.
Yeah, he does.
Hey, Oscar, I agree with you. I hate running quarterbacks. Dayton Daniels need to put some meat on his bones. I agree with you.
I didn't realize Jayden was so small in the bottom half of his body. He is very tiny.
Yeah, he's very small.
Yeah, he's going to have to put some.
Who fault is that? The NFL. NFL has wide receivers just as small as he is running up and down the field.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL is the one who doesn't, and the players union is sold out because they don't even practice hard no more. They don't practice no more. They sit there and like that, and then we get all these injuries where players aren't even playing with knee pads no more. Hardly play with thigh pads more. Then a shoulder pads. I have said this so many times.
Yeah, football's not like it used to be.
What's up, Thomas?
But if you think about it, there has been so many injuries.
Eventually they're going to get rid of preseason.
Go ahead, Thomas.
There has been so many injuries, so many torn ACLs since they've stopped wearing all these pads and stuff. You know, they used to tease Eric Dickerson because he wore all the pads in the world.
Go out of bounds too.
How many times he was injured?
Do you remember in high school we used to wear the neck pads? We had the ass pads.
You guys got to realize too.
We
These
had
guys are
these pads,
compared to back in the
forearm
day.
pads.
But see, I'm going to say this about the past. So they changed the rules,
What's up, Flip?
like the players in practice and spring training don't have to wear all these equipment during practice. So now, when you get into the regular season, these guys not got used to the physicality or getting hit or nothing like that. So you go get a good hit on somebody. Oh, my ankle. Oh, my shoulder sore. Oh, I got sore. There were players in the last 3 years came out the game of shoulder soreness. Really, really.
Momo, do you remember this year that
Arturo,
young
please.
Indianapolis
That's
quarterback?
disgusting.
He tapped himself out of the game. What an embarrassment!
Well, do you remember Emmitt Smith having a messed up shoulder and playing against the Giants? If he hadn't played, we wouldn't have beat the Giants that year.
And we were fighting for the #1 seed.
Yes.
Ward family asked a good question. How many people think the Cowboys will take this year to get the tank this year to get the Manning? You don't have to tank this year. He's in college for at least
for another 2 years.
At least two more years.
It's going to take a couple of years.
So
we need a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I don't want to tank. I don't want them to tank.
We don't need
I
to
want
tank.
to see a good team play. Good Lord.
There's a way to do both.
My thing is, why are you gonna tank for this Manning boy?
Uh-oh,
and then when he
news.
gets the Cowboys,
what's going on here?
it's gonna y'all got to wait for 2 or 3 more years to try to get him broken in, and then we start with
breaking
that's 5
news.
years.
I don't know. Ward family says breaking news.
Uh-oh.
No, just no. I don't know. I think he's just breaking balls. Jalen Hurts got 12 of 20 Super Bowl MVP votes, by the way.
Well, he deserved it. I mean, he played a good game.
2026.
Other than the one interception, he played good.
He played a good game, yes.
I'm just saying he got 12 of 20. He wasn't like unanimous. Josh Sweat got
I wouldn't be surprised if
5 votes.
Archman is
Dejean got
being
4.
in the Giants.
What's that?
That could happen too.
What'd you say?
He was talking about Manning going to the Giants.
Nah, he's coming
it's
to
going to
Cowboys.
be Daddy Manning's going to be make sure.
Aaron Rodgers news. Where's Aaron Rodgers going? I heard rumor.
They gave him the
Cowboys. To the Cowboys?
No.
Maybe?
No way, man. I don't want that cancer.
Yeah, that's confirmed. Aaron Rodgers is gone. They didn't want him to give him the boot.
Yeah. Sweat interview. He said kind of upset he didn't get it. Oscar, yeah, he was upset. Sweat going to get paid a lot.
Raiders.
I got a question from my Eagle fans. I mean, I'm not an Eagle fan, so it doesn't really affect me. But AJ Brown's. Did you guys hear the AJ Brown comments, guys? He said that he thought he would be happier after winning the Super Bowl because he hardly was involved.
He's just blowing a lot of steam.
He
said he likes.
He wants to repeat.
Yeah,
he wants the ball.
Yeah, he wants the ball, and it's not about winning. It's about the grind. It's about how. Yeah, I'm not saying he's not locked in. I'm just saying that he wasn't happy, which is good. That's good to hear for
Brian.
This
goes to my.
But Brian, it kind of sounds, guys. Brian, it kind of sounds like what Jalen said on the Tonight Show when he was looking at the trophy, saying all the sweat, blood, and tears he went through.
Yeah,
I don't see Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback and he's a winner where he gone. High school, college, and the pros. Yeah. But if you tell me that he's elite, he's not elite. He will never be elite. He is an average quarterback. That's who he is. That's who he is.
He's got a lot of talent around him.
Momo.
I can't
Momo,
I don't see
yet.
it. I have never seen it since he's been in the league. Him throw. He doesn't know how to throw the ball like he should. Opinion, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
what I seen, I don't see eliteness. I don't see a great quarterback.
Here's my thing. I think that he's a
still
clutch
young.
quarterback.
He's still getting his man body.
He throws and I can sit there and I can come up with a lot of things when you look at it on tape, what he doesn't do. My man will drop a dime on a deep ball in a heartbeat. He throws a hell of a deep ball.
He does. Yes.
Hey, it works.
Yeah.
Got
I
to the Super
mean,
Bowl
Dak
and win.
could take a lesson out of Jalen's how to throw a deep ball, because I don't know about you, Randy. Every time I see Dak try and throw a deep ball, he underthrows it.
He does, and
Or
I'll
throws it
say
over
this
by
much.
10 yards. He's got the arm. He just has no touch or timing.
Okay.
I'll say this for Jalen. He's a Super Bowl champion.
Yes.
He's an MVP.
That's fine.
Super
That's
Bowl.
fine. So
What the heck do you want, man? I mean, give me that.
Here's
I'll
my
take
thing.
it
Here's
every
my
They
day.
thing.
said the same thing about Aikman.
Yes.
No,
and they still
here's
say
my
it.
thing. I'm gonna say I just don't want to Logan Motorsports. Just because you a Super Bowl winner doesn't make you just great quarterback. They always gonna give the quarterback the MVP.
I understand what you're saying,
Momo,
but
just
all I'm
explain to
saying is
everybody who's your team, just so they know where you're coming from.
No, Momo. They didn't even. They always gave the
Come on,
quarterback
tell
quarterback
everybody.
MVP. Look at Lawrence Taylor. He got the MVP.
He's a Commander fan. Momo's a Commander fan.
Okay. Well, I mean,
he
I
took a
feel
50 burger, so he's a little pissed right now. I'm joking.
I'll tell you who an elite quarterback is, and he don't get all the credit, and that is Cincinnati's quarterback.
I love him.
He's an elite quarterback.
He's the best quarterback in the league.
He's got the it factor.
I agree with that.
If I was
Jalen
drafting a
Hurts
quarterback
that
today,
it factor.
I would take Burrow over any quarterback.
And I'm saying that because I don't feel like Dak don't have that it factor. But I'll say this: you put most quarterbacks in the position that Jalen Hurts was in on Sunday, the way that the Phillies defense was playing, ain't too many quarterbacks going to lose that game.
What's up, Vinny? Vinny's fired up tonight. I figured we're talking about this. Every time we try and get away from it, we all come back to the quarterback.
I don't understand how people say Jalen Hurts is the average.
I mean,
I did say he is good, but he's not great. There's a difference between good and great.
You cannot go to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years and be average.
That's not because of
that's because of their defense.
The number one defense, the best and support.
Okay, man. Guys, I'm asking you a question. Okay,
they said the same shit about Aikman. Look at the numbers in the playoffs.
Okay, I just want to ask.
I was around when Aikman was a quarterback.
I'll be done with this, and I won't say another word about Jaden Hurts ever again. I just want to say this one thing. Just one thing.
Yeah, you will.
I probably will. But here's the thing. The Baltimore Ravens won a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer. Was he elite? Was he good?
Hell, he wasn't even good.
Dilfer go to multiple Super Bowls in 3 years.
Yeah, he didn't.
And he was horrible.
And listen, Momo, I'll tell you this. And I'll tell you this. I agree. They had an unbelievable offensive line and running game. I cannot lie. But I will tell you this. They had to win 3 playoff games to get to the Super Bowl. That's not easy.
Well,
it's just not. Just look at the Eagles' road. Eagles had to play what? Who was their first game? Green Bay. Arguably the toughest team. Now, they were banged up. Let's be honest. They were a little banged up. But they had to play the Packers. They handled them handily. Then, I think it was the toughest game of the playoff, and it's kind of surprised me, was the Rams.
Yeah. Yes, I'll tell you why the Rams was the toughest game, because Jalen had a poor game in that game.
Well, the coaching too.
The Rams got destroyed.
Was bad. Was bad
coaching. In the
so you see, hold on. I want to address something. Yeah. You said that Aikman, people were calling him elite. Hold on, go on any NFL page when they throw up greatest quarterbacks of the 90s, everyone's going to say, oh, Steve Young's better than Aikman. Brett Favre was better than Aikman, but yet Aikman beat their ass in the playoffs every single time.
I will tell you why. With Aikman, because he was very unselfish, okay? And he
was in the pudding.
He was very unselfish, okay, when it came to stats. He wasn't like
he was a very efficient quarterback. He did not make mistakes. He made the throws when they needed to be made. The same thing.
He was an elite quarterback. I want to say something about Brett Favre. Brett Favre has a lot of cheap touchdowns. Every time they at the 5-yard line, he threw a cheap touchdown. We gave the ball to Emmitt Smith. Okay, and that
Brett Favre was a gunslinger.
Yeah, he was.
Hey George, I asked Tony Gonzalez, would you like to win Super Bowl or get into Pro Football Hall of Fame. He said Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts wins. I'm gonna tell you something right now, Momo. Jalen Hurts, if he wins the Super Bowl next year, he's gonna be a Hall of Fame.
He doesn't have a Super Bowl.
He's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. I'm telling you.
There's another quarterback.
I have the Eagles as favorite. I don't see I see them repeating right now.
There's no way he goes to 3 Super Bowls and wins 2, and he's not a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Real quick. George DC for life was at the Super Bowl. He was, I believe. Hey George, I don't know if you want to tell everybody. Like, who do you work for? He was on the sidelines. He was the guy that I showed everybody the picture. He was operating one of the cameras. He's in the chat, George DC for life. Obviously, he's a Cowboy fan, but he got to see up close and personal the Eagles win a Super Bowl. How was that experience, George? I wish you could. I wish you could be in the chat here. That would be cool to be able to talk to you about it. Yeah, NFL on Fox, George. It would be cool that if you could be a channel member just to hop on here. But maybe sometime down the future, I would really like to hear some of your stories because I'm sure you have it. You might not be able to say certain things, and I get that. Oh my God, we can only hear one at a time. I know, Ward. I know. That's why I said we got to take turns. But yeah, go ahead. Like whoever was talking, Ward, Wade. I believe you were talking.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say. If he wins the back-to-back Super Bowls, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Wade. And I'm going to say this, and then I'll have it to Wade and Yasin. You know, they always say about Aikman, he wasn't this, he wasn't that. Remember, Emmett wasn't this. It was always the offensive line, how great our offensive line is. Yet, Wade, we only have one offensive lineman in the Hall of Fame. So what was it? Was everybody bad and we just got lucky 3 out of 4 years? Or
Coaching too.
Coaching, but I'm just saying we only have one Hall of Famer. That's the bottom line on the offensive line. So everybody say how great the offensive line was. Shit, Eagles have more. Yeah, between Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson, they're gonna have 2 right off the bat. It's been 30 years.
Vinny, he's not in the Hall of Fame, but if he wins another Super Bowl, there's talk of it. Then
who's that?
No. Vinny, Wade said if he wins another Super Bowl.
He's got to be considered.
No, can I just say something?
They're talking about Eli going in the Hall of Fame, so he's better.
Eli deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Eli was another one that didn't get credit.
Anyway,
Eli's the Hall of Fame, in my opinion.
Amen.
He didn't get enough credit. He took the 2 teams and beat the so-called greatest quarterback of all time.
Okay, let me say this. Can we agree that Eli numbers are horrible?
And
yes,
didn't get let him. Eli didn't let him get.
And they went on a playoff run where they was what 10-6 or 9-7. Didn't win the division. Doesn't matter.
They went on a run.
They went on a run. Yeah. That don't make you a Hall of Famer, does it?
If you win,
so the only thing that matters in this league is winning championships.
He beat
That's all that matters.
He beat an undefeated team. He beat the undefeated. He beat us. We were the number 1 seed and had to bye. Okay.
And Marino was a unicorn. Remember,
one at a time. I need to hear from everybody.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Eli in 2007 when he beat us, the Cowboys' best team in the last 20 years. He also beat a great Green Bay team in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, in Green Bay.
Remember how cold it was? Remember
it was very cold
that day.
And that drive against the Patriots to win the game was incredible.
And it was.
Yeah, but guys, that was incredible. I gotta tell you, I get to test that, but also that defense was beast.
Right. Yeah, but that's what you have in quarterbacks like this. That's not great. They do what they're supposed to do. Jalen Hurts didn't have to throw the ball all over the field. He had a running back all year that did his work for him, and he was able to do whatever it took. He went through with a game plan. That's the main thing.
And he had an offensive line that's a beast mode, all pro.
That's it.
You know, Eli wasn't sexy. He won when he had to win. And
what about during the regular season? What about his career? Did he win throughout all his career?
And another thing about Eli, the difference between Eli and Peyton used to get nervous in playoff games. Eli was the opposite. Okay. Peyton choked in a lot of playoff games. Eli never choked.
Eli could consistently use that ball and not get hurt. That's the thing. He didn't get chances like that.
I'm not an Eli fan, but Eli won when the lights were at its brightest.
Yes.
And that's what they're looking at.
I am.
Hate to say fact. He won when the lights were at its brightest. And that's what they're looking at.
Thomas, can I ask you a question?
Shoot.
All those 2 years he went to the Super Bowl, right? He played in this league, would you say, over 10 years?
No.
Did Eli play for over 10 years in the NFL?
Yeah, he played around 14.
Yes, he did.
So all those years when the lights were so-called brightest, he came out short in most of the games he played. So I don't see his stats because you won Super Bowl twice. To me, down in the Super Bowl win, I'm looking at your statisticals, your stats, your touchdowns, your yards. He led the league in interceptions for most of his career. So I don't.
He has 2 Super Bowl MVPs.
They give the MVPs like hurricanes and water.
Momo.
Because they everybody water. They give MVPs all the time to the quarterback.
Momo, I know you that.
We'll take the water. Thank you.
One at a time, please.
Momo, I know you that.
Not happy with it.
So Brady, all those MVPs, Brady got
each other off.
Right?
Do you guys remember Jim Plunkett?
Yes.
Yeah. Plunkett.
Yeah, and Randy will remember him.
Oh yeah, I remember him well.
Jim Plunkett he was the first overall draft pick by the New England Patriots. They cut him, and 49ers picked him up. A bad 49ers team, they cut him. The Raiders picked him up as a backup quarterback. Their starting quarterback, Pastorini, got injured. He took them to the Super Bowl, and they won back in 1980. He won another Super Bowl in '83, and I don't think he will ever go into the Hall of Fame, but he was 2-time Super Bowl winner.
Damn, bro, man, this gave us a history lesson.
Well, I mean, he's exactly right. And also, if you look at what we're talking about here, you take Dan Marino, who was one of the greatest quarterbacks, in my opinion.
And he
never had a great. I love it. I just don't want them talking over each other. That's all, because you guys can't hear it. That's all.
Sorry, Randy.
Randy, he's right. I already knew that. Even though I know he won that. Even though I know he won the 1970 Heisman Trophy win at Stanford.
I agree with him.
I agree with you too. I believe that Jim Plunkett, his body of work tells me he's a Hall of Famer. Eli,
Wade, what do you think? Isn't. Wade's a connoisseur.
I remember that, George. I definitely do remember that.
Is Wade there or no? He's not there.
Momo's going to remember this. That '83 Washington Redskin team.
Yeah, Joe Theismann.
Yeah, that was a great Redskin team, man. But
broke leg Joe.
I couldn't stand that team.
What about Jim Plunkett? He won 2 Super Bowls.
Jim Plunkett beat that team and blew them out in the Super Bowl.
That was the year that Wilbert Montgomery was running the ball all over the place.
Yeah, I was at that game, 1980, Veterans Stadium. 9 years old. It broke my heart, but I love it.
Danny White lost that game.
It was a great memory for me just because.
Well, look at Russell. He won 1 Super Bowl, and it was almost going to the Hall of Fame.
Let me finish my thought, man. It was back in the days where I was standing outside by the bus waiting for the players to come out after the game, and Butch Johnson was talking to my father. I was like, oh, my God, we were able to get access to these players. But George says everyone forgets Charles Haley won 5 Super Bowls with 2 teams. He doesn't get the respect.
He does, in my opinion.
He's the reason we won our Super Bowls in the 90s a lot.
I say he had more to do with it than Dion. Remember, Dion came in at the end.
What did Haley say about Dallas now? Jesus.
Well, what's that? What'd you say?
Charles Haley has the all-time sack leader in Super Bowl history.
I did too.
I said, what does Charles Haley say about the team now?
He says that
chokers,
leadership. Chokers,
yeah,
exactly.
They lack leadership in the locker room.
Exactly.
Momo, Doug Williams wasn't great, but he got you a Super Bowl. It's about winning.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh, here we go. I want Wade's opinion on this when Momo's done.
Okay, let me explain something about Doug Williams. Doug Williams
was a
he's always been a top of the line elite quarterback, because where he came from, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he took them, I believe, to a Super Bowl.
No, NFC Championship game.
They lost.
He lost.
Yeah, they lost to the Rams.
Mm-hmm. And he's always been good. So Doug Williams. Now you can't. Doug Williams, Jalen Hurts can't even be in the same stratosphere as Doug Williams. Let's not get crazy on here now. Please don't.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean,
did you see Doug Williams?
Yes.
I'm old enough to remember.
Yes, I see him. I'm 63. Yes, I see Doug Williams. Doug Williams is elite.
Do you Randy, do you remember that 38-0 playoff game?
I do. Yeah. I remember. Hey, listen, that's when the stats matter to me every day. I read the newspaper every day after the game. So, yes, I remember that game.
By the way, Coach Landry called off the Dogs. They could have scored more points that day.
Yeah.
Do you want to know his let me see here. I think he played 88 games in the league, Doug Williams.
Right.
He was 38 and 42.
Well, Tampa Bay back then wasn't real good, you know that.
But I'm not saying it's not. I'm just being what do you call it? I'm giving you the opposite. He had 100 TDs, 93 interceptions.
He also went to the USFL.
I'll say this about when we say elite. That's a big word to say whenever you're talking about.
What I'm saying.
The USL hell.
Here's my thing. I think the Hall of Fame has gotten watered down. The people I trust, namely, and I have ups and downs when it comes to Brian Broaddus these days. But
you're correct there, Daz. Dan Marino is elite. I've been saying that he's a unicorn.
I said that I said that earlier.
Leroy Butler of the Packers made the Hall of Fame, and Brian Broaddus said that Darren Woodson is twice the player that Leroy Butler was.
He's right.
And Darren Woodson's not in. Why?
He's a Dallas Cowboy.
Maybe George could tell me.
I can tell you.
George DC for life likes Momo. I like you, even though you're a Washington fan. George, isn't Washington our true rival? What's up, Drew? How are you, brother? Joe Montana is definitely elite for a little guy too. Daz, he was little. He was
tough.
He was a heck of a leader, though, and
he was a leader.
Yeah, I hated him, but he was good.
So
he wasn't afraid of getting hit too.
No.
I'll tell you what, guys. One thing after this Super Bowl, old quarterback on Kansas City, his GOAT status slipped. I think Montana's back up at 2.
That just reminded everybody that it is a team game. And I mean, listen, again, Jalen didn't win that, and he didn't put no team on his back. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a team game, people. The Dallas won those Super Bowls not because of Troy, not because of Emmett, not because of the defense, because of everything. Every part of that team, that's what it takes. Some years are better than others. Some years Tom Brady can just roll.
Most of those players went to the Hall of Fame.
No, so I agree with you, Brian. So why do we constantly in this league, they watered down people who should be MVPs in football games, gave to one of the defensive player or gave to the defensive line. He shouldn't have gotten an MVP. We got to stop saying because somebody on a team, he's a Super Bowl winner.
That's just
like that.
Don't get caught up in the MVP because I'm glad he got it because it made me about $475. But that aside, that aside, Momo, it's all about they'd rather have.
I'm sorry.
They would rather have.
You can't put a whole defensive line as MVP. Come on now.
I mean, you can give him a turkey leg for Thanksgiving, but you can't make him an MVP. They ain't gonna do that. Okay.
They did it for Randy White and
Larry
Martin.
Brown. Oh yeah, for the loser. Yes.
No, they were
no. That was the year they won. They beat.
They won. Yeah.
They beat Craig Morton and the Broncos.
They
I remember one year there were like co-MVPs, right?
They're the only co-MVPs.
78.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how old George DC for life is, but he
that co-MVP is like consolation prize.
Hey Drew, just real quick, George in the chat, he works for he's a cameraman for Fox. He was on the sideline for the Super Bowl. So he got to see it up close and personal, Drew. We're all jealous of him.
Drew, leave me alone. Leave me alone, Drew. Leave me alone, Drew.
63. Okay, George. So you and I'm 53, George. But
George, how was those? How was those?
You guys are talking over me, and you just gotta just wait a sec. George, Randy is you're his age, right? Randy.
Yeah, I'm 64.
There you go. So we're we have a nice group of guys. Go ahead, Momo.
I mean, I look at football and I look at it differently than others because I look at it statistically and I look at what my eyes tells me. I look at the eye test. I look at the eye test on all quarterbacks and in this league and wide receivers. I've been saying this for so many years. The league is full of average and below average quarterbacks and wide receivers. You got some are better and some are good. Because the NFL did this. They one who caused the Jalen Hurts of the world, making them good.
They want
the Eli Mannings in the world, making them better than they really is.
That's what the salary cap was for, Momo. That way you can only, that way you're limited, you are. Well, I think the teams that handle the salary cap are the teams that win.
If that's the case, they got a cap, the salary cap. If that's the case, they could have bought their way off Super Bowl.
You can't say Eli was average in them Super Bowl runs.
I said his career. Clutch. I'm looking at his totality of his career.
So I'll get to that.
The way Eli was average.
For me,
he beat the goat twice.
One at a time.
For me, if you are a quarterback in the NFL and you have multiple Super Bowl championships, you need to be in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You need to be in the Hall of Fame, period. You have 2 Super Bowls. It is hard to reach that. It's hard to get there.
Why did Jim Plunkett there then?
NFL is to win the championship.
Jim Plunkett should be in the Hall of Fame. I've been saying that forever. He's a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, and he needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
You play to win the game.
He's the only quarterback in the 80s out the AFC that won a Super Bowl.
That's the great thing about sports.
Guys,
there you go.
You play to win.
Back in the 70s, let me tell you something. There was a quarterback back in the 70s named Arch Manning.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
He played on some horrible teams. And let me tell you something. You put him on a team that was good behind this kind of line, you talk about an it factor. He was great. And is he in the Hall of Fame? I don't think he is.
No, he's not. And by the way,
he could be. He played on some horrible teams.
Coach
the opposite of Aaron Rodgers.
And if y'all remember, Archie Manning was second to Jim Plunkett. So a lot of people don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Yassine.
Yeah, Coach Landry said Archie Manning is as good as Roger Staubach back in the 70s. Yeah, that's how good he was.
Played on some horrible 2 and 12 teams.
Momo, what I will say is the Hall of Fame, and I think maybe everyone will agree they're getting a little bit I don't like who they're just letting in.
Yeah.
I will say Darren Woodson. See, that's the thing. Oh, you're a Cowboys fan. Darren Woodson has better numbers than Eric Reed.
Been quarterback friendly.
He has better numbers than Eric Reed.
You're
and he is not in the Hall of Fame, but Eric Reed is in the Hall of Fame. That doesn't even make any sense.
Well, I'll tell you why, Walker.
Leroy Butler, same thing.
Brian, if Darren Woodson played for any other team in the league, he would have been in the Hall of Fame. There's a lot of anti-Cowboy bias with the voters.
Right.
It took Cliff Rayfield White over 2 decades to go into the Hall of Fame.
Well, y'all seen. That's why I said everybody says that our 90s team was all about our offensive line, yet there's only one of them in the Hall of Fame. So it obviously wasn't that good, right?
No.
And how many fullbacks are in the Hall of Fame?
What's that?
How many fullbacks are in the Hall of Fame? That's one position that gets overlooked something serious as well.
Darryl Johnson should be in the Hall of Fame. Emmett Smith said there's no way he would have won the rushing, the all-time leading rusher without Darryl Johnson.
They need to have someone in the Hall of Fame from every position because there is players that have played the game that are great at every position.
Wade, I got a line from Michael Ward. He says Archie Manning also said that out of those 3 kids, Arch Manning has the greatest talent level. Bring it on, baby. His dad, Archie, saying that Arch has the best.
Arch Manning, our future quarterback.
There it is. Glory hole. There it was. Glory hole.
Is Dak's career over yet?
A couple more years.
Wasn't John Riggins a fullback?
John Riggins was not a fullback.
He was. At that time they used to call him a fullback.
But we know he ran the ball out of the single back set a lot.
Yeah, he ran the back.
Went back offense.
Yeah.
Earl Campbell may be considered a fullback.
He did get on the Fame though.
Yeah, they also had a quality on third down back, Joe Washington.
For the Colts.
Let me say this.
He ended his career with Washington.
I can name a quarterback that didn't win that one Super Bowl that's in the Hall of Fame right now.
Well, I'm sorry, I was reading the chat. What's that, Momo? What'd you say?
I said I can name a quarterback that not win one Super Bowl.
Dan Marino.
Fran
Tarkenton.
Nope.
Of course, Marino, like I've been saying.
He play in the Super Bowl.
Fran Tarkenton played in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Fran Tarkenton played in 3 Super Bowls.
No. Sonny Jerk's in the Hall of Fame.
Marino didn't.
Huh? Excuse me?
I don't know who said that. It wasn't me.
So Sonny Jurgensen was not the starter in Super Bowl 7?
No, it was Billy Kilmer.
Oh, Billy Kilmer. Okay.
He was on the bench. Okay. Everybody know the better team was on. The better quarterback was on. Would have won that game for Washington.
Billy Kilmer was a tough guy, man.
Sonny Jurgensen. Now, don't get me wrong. He won. He did. Sonny Jurgensen did win a lot of championships before the Super Bowl era. He did win a lot of championships.
It'll be interesting to watch Arch Manning over the next 2 years. Whoever
he
gets
to the Cowboys. I believe the Cowboys going to take him next year.
I'm looking forward to it.
He's not. He's going to play 2 more years at least in college. So it wouldn't be till after, not next year, but the following year. And we'll see. That's why we were talking earlier about what we
Daddy managed to make him play those 2 years to groom him.
What we were talking about earlier is to be able to set yourself up to have at least 2 number ones in that draft. And then depending on where you're at in the draft, and it's going to take you more than that. It's going to take at least 3 number ones. So if you have to give your 2 and then 1 in the following year, but you got 2 years to get another first-round pick ready. That means trading down, whether this year, not this year, but next year or the year after in the first round, maybe trading out of the first round. And that's what I would say, if he indeed is that guy. But he has to play football. I know Michael Ward, the Ward family likes him. I like him. Wade likes him. I think Randy likes him.
Oh, that's all the pan.
The only person who doesn't like him was Sark, that dumb coach.
What's that, Yassine?
Sarkisian. I'm surprised he didn't play him as a starter. He was better than the other guy.
He was more had a legion.
Roads leading back to Cat Boy and the Mummy.
He had what the hell's going on there? He felt allegiance to Ewers.
Ewers was a clown,
man. He sure did.
And I don't know that it would have mattered, Randy. I think Ohio State really.
Well, they were just a better team.
I think they came on at the end, and nobody was touching them.
Hell, they were stacked at every position.
Yeah, I mean, just wait until the draft and see how many.
Yeah, wait till you see how many Ohio State players go in the first and second round.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it'll be it. I'm looking forward to it. I could tell you that much. I really am. D-Law headed to Detroit. You think Clemente?
Oof. They're going to be like a sturge of running backs and O-line. That's what it's going to be.
I believe D-Law might be going to Washington. Quinn likes him.
I don't know that you'll get him. I think you'll get you'll probably get we need to keep him, but if we don't,
you'd
Jordan
love that,
Lewis,
wouldn't you, Momo?
Jordan Lewis, maybe Osa.
Okay. If we don't sign Osa, I'm going to go crazy, man.
Well, Osa, I was reading earlier. Matt Eberflus and who fits in his scheme. Osa fits perfectly in Matt Eberflus's scheme. Mm-hmm. So he likes those 3 techniques that can get penetration. We have actually a few pieces that fit great. I don't think Mozzie fits.
That's what the talking heads are saying.
I don't think Mozzie fits, Jesse. Mozzie may find his way. He traded for a conditional 6. if you're asking me, I'm just saying it can be one of those pick swaps based on, how you play or something. Mozzie's strong, but he's not fast. He doesn't have good feet, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. Sorry, Mozzie. I'm sorry, Mrs. Mozzie, but I know
Mozzie's a Hall of Famer. Come on there, Bruce Banner. Stop it.
Well, I know Mark was doing a lot of positive videos on Mozzie because
training camp last year
because his wife, his mom was sitting with Mark, so he felt obligated. But I guess after 2 years of stinkeroos, then he's all right. I got to come clean.
Also, his mom also sat next to Mark in training camp.
Mozzie is prone boo boo.
Well, Twiz says Mozzie don't like football, and he said it. He said it as much, but we all thought it was funny. I just want to hit somebody in the mouth. Well, you have to love it a little bit.
I'm curious, Brian. Why are these Cowboys? Mozzie saying he don't like football. D-Law talking about he's tired when he played the football
he didn't
game
say he
year.
was tired. He said they were tired. He was talking about somebody. I don't think D-Law, again, I didn't like the Hot Boys. I don't like that whole moniker.
I didn't either.
But D-Law's a hell of a player. Okay. He gets injured. His feet, I don't know if he's got skinny feet or something. He's
skinny feet. I never heard that before.
Well, I've had that Jones fracture. He's had a lot of problems with his feet. He's
a ballet. He's a ballet dancer.
He's got skinny feet. I don't know.
We should have gotten rid of D-Law back in 22.
But
man.
I think D-Law is a good 2-way player. I know Eagle fans hate it when I say it, but D-Law would be awesome in Philly just because of the way he plays. Stops to run. He's very consistent, especially on 3rd down. But they don't want to hear that. They want.
I agree. I agree with you, Brian.
I think, or even in Washington, he is a really good player. People, I don't think people get.
I agree.
I don't think people give him enough credit. George DC for life. Our new wide receiver coach comes from New Brunswick, New Jersey. Wow. Okay. Played high school football in Lawrenceville. I'm very familiar. At Notre Dame, a college football, and Rutgers, then played pros. He also, coached a Cooper Cup. And there's a receiver that I like out of Oregon who is not very tall, but he's fast. He reminds me of a young Deshaun Jackson. Tez Johnson. They say his route running's not the best, but when you have feet like him, maybe you don't have to have the best of route running. You can learn that.
Mm-hmm. I hope we could trade for Cooper Cup.
That's hilarious, peg leg.
Why would you want to trade for Cooper Cup with all those injuries?
Well, if it wouldn't be a high pick. I would say a 5th.
I would say a 5th myself.
Yeah,
fifth,
we have 4 of them. Maybe throw one.
Well,
I like nothing a tainted in cowboy. Bruce Banner, you like yourself some Kellen Moore, though, didn't you, Bruce? Yeah, you liked him. He was dripping. He wore a cowboy underoos. You don't know.
Okay,
that.
I do have a question, Cowboy Nation. I've been dying to ask this question. Why
I said that at the draft, Drew, if you remember. I said Nolan Smith. I was going back and forth between Nolan Smith and Joey Porter Jr., and they took Mozzie Smith. DMV looked at me like I had 3 heads. I'm like, oh, I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Why all the Cowboy Nation don't like Kellen Moore? I've been hearing this. They ragged on this man all year.
Logan, so there's who that?
I think the reason that we didn't like Kellen Moore is because there were times that he would run the ball up the middle when it was 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 6, something like that. He just didn't call a very good game, and it also goes to show that we didn't have the defense that Philly had either. That's the difference in the game. He didn't have to throw the ball a lot this year.
Well, can I ask you a question then? Can't the head coach override a play because he hears the play? No, we're not doing that. It's called something else. Can he override the play?
Not on the Cowboys.
No, that used to happen in the 80s, by the way. Yeah.
The coach lives up in the suites up in the top of the stadium there.
Okay.
That's what the coach is.
Now, Dak's got command of the offense. He could change plays, but whether they're the right ones, that's
it's
debatable.
Like this, guys. It's like this. Kellen Moore, Dallas didn't let Kellen Moore do his thing, and the Eagles did. Look what happened.
You should feel like Philly 500 said today, are we sure it was Kellen Moore or Dak Prescott? Because Kellen Moore goes immediately to the Eagles, and Jalen Hurts, they win a Super Bowl. And
I remember Wade, he was in with the Chargers last year. They were awful.
I told you guys later. I got to get up.
Well, the Eagles had a great offensive line.
I'll email you.
Eagles had a great personnel.
Later.
Yeah, he had great offensive line.
Yeah, and then Philly 500's argument, which it is valid, the Cowboys had #1 offense like 2 years straight with Kellen Moore.
I didn't want Kellen Moore.
Had #1 offense and #1 like scoring offense too. So like I mean, I'm just saying, yet he goes to Philly. They are still efficient, and they're the highest scoring offense in the playoffs, and then they win the Super Bowl. So is it Dak or was it Kellen Moore?
And then plus, I don't know if y'all, I don't know if y'all know this, but
you can thank Gary for that.
After that Tampa Bay loss, Sirianni took the play calling away from Kellen Moore, and Philadelphia went on a winning streak. Think about that.
Vinny Barkley was beast, but he wasn't the only one.
Nick Sirianni took away the play calling from Kellen Moore after that Tampa Bay loss.
No, I don't think Nick Sirianni was calling plays all season.
I don't think so. Yeah.
And look what happened.
I didn't see him on the sideline calling the plays. I saw Kellen Moore on the sideline calling the plays.
Yeah, Kellen Moore was calling the plays.
Well, and the way I look at things is, I mean, let's face it.
Philly, yeah, that's because probably Jeff Lurie told him slow your roll.
But for Dak to come out and say they're close to the Eagles,
that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing.
I don't know what he was smoking, but he was smoking something good.
He's got a 4-year contract, $231 million.
Drew Thomas doesn't know what the heck he's talking about.
He's still kissing Jerry's ass, man.
Drew said, "You don't know what you're talking about."
You need to go somewhere.
He was laughing though. He was laughing. I had to read it. He put it out there as a member for 7 months. So
you need to
get him, Thomas.
You need to take his ass somewhere and celebrate his Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's celebrating. He hasn't
slept. He's got you going.
I'm in his
taking it back to the watershed.
Brian, did they have their parade yet?
Friday.
He's on that horse shit, man. I must be in his brain because he's worried about me when he need to be in Philadelphia celebrating that Super Bowl win. You worried about the wrong thing, son. You just won a championship. Celebrate. Shit. Or go to the damn parade in Philadelphia Friday.
We've forgotten how to celebrate here. It's been 30 years.
Thomas, just relax. The season over. New started on Sunday.
I'm going to tell you.
There goes the blood pressure, guys.
Oscar, I have to read this real fast, guys. Let me read this, and then you can get back to. The offensive line went into Moore's office and told him, start running the ball. Lane Johnson was first. Listen,
There you go.
Bingo.
I respect that.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Lane Johnson is a leader.
They're actually having fun. Why? Because they're beating on people. Thomas, me and you, your sisters are celebrating. Me and your sisters are celebrating, says Drew.
Oh, man, that's a cheap shot, man.
Thomas is going to get mad.
What is to get mad about?
Nah, I'm playing. He said,
fired.
He's dancing with your sisters and celebrating.
You doing what?
He's celebrating with your sisters.
They're Eagle fans.
They're Eagle fans.
Now my older sister is the Eagle fan.
Well,
working.
Well, that's who he's celebrating with.
Yep.
Eagles have landed. Yes.
And we haven't played in an NFC Championship game in 30 years. Mm-hmm. You know who's has the second longest streak in the NFC?
Detroit,
Chicago, and it's only 15 right. And it's only 15 years.
You're right near close to Cleveland. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm talking about the NFC.
Yeah, Cleveland's never played in the Super
Bowl. Miami's got a longer streak than we do.
Somebody has to, just sit a Jerry in front of a TV and explain, because I don't think they get it.
They don't get it. Mm-hmm. How embarrassing!
Let me ask you this. Wade, are you there? Wade, are you alive? If not, then
yes.
All right. Does Will McClay know what's going on? I mean, do you think has the wherewithal to say, now that he's been in the meetings, they're actually, he was in all the interview process for the first time ever. It's almost like they're grooming him to be the GM. That's it. That's just me. Do you think he knows why they're not winning? And do you think he has these conversations with Jerry, or you don't think that he knows either?
I mean, I heard Law talking about this one time. Like, Will's kind of got his hands tied because if he wants to go get make trades or certain players, he's got to go talk to Jerry and Steven. It's not like he could just pull his trigger.
Yeah, he's hamstrung.
I
will say about Will, his drafting the last couple years has been kind of suspect.
Here we go again. All roads lead to Jerry and Steven.
Mozzie Smith, man, that's terrible pick.
Mozzie's finished.
Tyler Guyton, suspect.
So
back-to-back first-round picks that hadn't panned out yet.
George says the Philly fans were chanting, says Dallas stinks at the Super Bowl. I reminded them you only have 2 Super Bowl wins. Don't get full of yourself. Even at their highest, George, that's what they do. They say Dallas sucks. We're always in their head for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Will McClay passed up TJ for Taco. There's a lot of things. Will McClay's great, man. He's made some bad calls. In drafting.
Taco was awful, man.
Yeah, it was.
You guys are killing me. These Michigan guys, Taco, Mazzy.
Yeah, but give me Mason Graham this year and I'll be happy.
Oh, my goodness.
I do think if Jerry passed, though, that Steven would probably elevate Will McClay to general manager.
Right.
I agree with you. I think that's who the general manager is going to be.
I'm just thinking. What isn't it a way when you're making those trades, you can throw in that third string quarterback you spent money on since they need quarterbacks out there?
Well, he's the free agent,
Walker, and Steven did say, and he never wants to get that GM title. He doesn't care about titles. He's not like Jerry.
No, that's what I'm saying. If Jerry passed away tomorrow, I think Will McClay would literally become GM.
I do too.
Steven said that already. Mm-hmm.
And I got a feeling Jerry's going to kick the bucket here in the next 2-3 years anyway. So.
Don't say that.
I can't say that, man.
By natural causes. Just
he might outlive all of us, man.
He's going to die in his sleep.
No,
he's going to go out the best way possible in your sleep.
Steven might be the next one to go. He looks old enough.
Oh, my God. Hopefully Charlotte takes over.
Guys, you got to realize Jerry Jones, like Dick Clark, keeps going.
Dick Clark's no longer with us.
Yeah. Well,
now that's a good question. Like, if Jerry and Stephen did pass away, who would take over football operations?
Charlotte would be the president of the team, but
because I got more confidence in Charlotte because I think she'd actually bring in the football people to actually run the organization.
She would. She'd get the
grandsons will take over when they're old enough.
Speaking of Dick Clark, I thought it was odd after he had the stroke that he stayed on for a few more years. Was that wrong? I don't know. I thought it was odd.
That was surprising.
Yeah, he didn't look good.
That's almost as bad as Lee Corso still being on.
Well, that was the pact he made with the devil.
God Almighty, that was horrible. It's like they were holding him up.
Lee Corso, I'm not sure, but he might be Weekend at Bernie's. They just pull strings and he's like that. Who's that dude who was on TikTok?
Well, isn't that do the same thing with Joe Biden?
Yeah,
John Gotti, what up? Who was that guy on TikTok? He sung Frankie Valli. Remember that? Like
Frankie Valli, yeah.
He just like he's a zombie. I think Frankie Valli is, I think
he must be in his 90s too. By the way, Frankie Valli.
Yeah. Boy, it's gotten bad. We're getting this show.
Yes, Thomas. Yes, sir.
Not so fast, my friend.
What happened, bro?
Lee Corso.
That's his saying.
Come on, man. Lee Corso's shot.
That's his favorite saying. Not so fast, my friend.
I'm like, dude. He's shot, man. Lee Corso. I feel weird because I feel like his family needs to step in and say, you could love college football.
He can kick the bucket.
But I mean, it's not even about that. It's like, I understand you love football, but you don't have the right to be on TV. Everybody on that panel they may love him, but they're feeling weird.
That was like Dick Vitale last week.
The diaper dandy, baby. Oh wait, oh yeah.
So even if the old Jerry passes away, they're gonna do like Weekend at Bernie's and keep him alive.
That's what I said, man. Just put a pair of sunglasses on him,
You'd never know.
Mummify him. You got to mummify him.
He's already making
with the team for 1,000
Jay Cutler
years.
made the championship game. Dak, no. Don't come in here crapping on us. Come on now.
Damn it, man. Jay Cutler made it before Dak. Boy, I'll tell you one thing. If Sam Darnold would have made it to the NFC Championship before Dak, oh, my God, I'd have never let anyone forget that shit.
Well, he's got next year.
Go grease your pole, Bobby.
I mean, and I know Dak's our quarterback for the next 4 years, but man, dude, there are some people that just defend the literal shit out of this man. It just makes no sense, man.
Wait, I didn't defend him. I was upset what he just said when he supported Jerry and Steven.
No, I'm saying like there's people like they will go to bat to Dak for Dak. Like I'm talking about no matter what. Like I'm not blaming him for all of our shortcomings. Like this year, this was out of his control. The Green Bay loss was a team loss, but I will say those 2 games against San Francisco in the playoffs, he did come up really small in those games.
Okay, can I just say something about Dak over the last few years, especially since his brother died? Have you noticed when things are not going good in a playoff game, he wasn't like that when he was young, and he gets scared or something. Have you seen that?
Well, did you see Green Bay last year when the game first started? Him and CD looked like they were somewhere else.
Yeah, they were in their head was like in the lights. I don't know what they were doing.
Now I'm going to blame the coach.
Everybody saw that.
But you see, like Nate Newton said after that playoff loss, like Nate Newton said after that Green Bay loss, he said, I don't like the fact that my franchise quarterback in year 8, after the Green Bay scored, I don't like that he looked like a deer in the headlights.
You're right about that one. That wasn't only that he was like that against San Francisco in that second playoff game, the 22.
That's why.
And in 2021.
That's why I would have never given him $60 million. I would have never paid him.
And that's and then he talked about Nate Newton talked about Troy. He's like, people say what they want to about Troy, man. The playoffs, man. That dude he turned it on. There was no he wasn't shooken in the playoffs.
in 92, Troy was 11 touchdowns and no interceptions.
I mean, you got to think about that though. Everyone's like, "Oh man, that team was stacked." Like, yeah, people got to understand.
I'll be right back.
Troy and the Cowboys had to go to San Francisco in the NFC Championship game and play in Candlestick.
You're
I
right.
mean, dude, it took a lot. I mean, they were playing against a juggernaut of a team, and they pulled it off.
Don't remind me, buddy.
Wade, that was the Super Bowl in my opinion.
That was the Super Bowl. Wait, I want to say something. Remember what CD did to Dak in the Green Bay playoff game? If that was Troy Aikman, he would have told him to shut the F up. Yeah, yeah,
because
he would have.
Michael used to come to say he would go to the huddle and they were all talking and Troy would look up and say, "Shut up," and it would get stone quiet. That's all it took.
That's one thing Dak has to work on, man. He's 31 years old. Come on.
He's going to be 32 at the beginning of training camp.
There comes a point in time when there comes a point in time when you shouldn't have to do that anymore. I mean, if you're the leader, you're the leader. I mean, if you're not, you're not, and obviously he's not. Let's put it where it's at. He's not a leader,
and he's a company man too.
He's too much of a yes man.
Yeah, and that's the thing is everyone's like, "Oh man, Troy's team was stacked."
Dak in training.
Dak had good teams, but go back and watch those playoff games. Like in '92 when Troy was in the NFC Championship, go look at the throws that man made. Go look at the decision making. Dak Prescott wasn't doing that against San Francisco. He was lost. He made boneheaded interceptions that cost us points. Like that's the difference between going to Super Bowls and not.
I remember when Barry Switzer took over and he was the leader that Jimmy Johnson was, and Troy used to give him advice. Hey, get rid of this guy. He's not working hard.
Well, if you remember NFL films, Troy came on the sidelines and said, "Guys, this is Bush League. We got to play better than this. This is bullshit."
Yeah, I remember that. We all see it.
Troy Aikman and Barry Switzer did not get along. Like he even told Barry, like he told Barry, like you're half-assing now that you're older.
Well, plus
Jerry too. I think Jerry. I mean,
well,
Troy was
Jimmy Johnson
talking
just
shit to
care.
Jerry too.
He didn't want you out. He wanted you out.
Yeah. You know how bad of a GM Jerry is, and in the back in the 90s when Jimmy left, we had so many great linebackers, and Jerry said linebackers are overrated. This is 94, 95.
Yeah, it's crazy because the 49ers took our best linebacker and
Norton Jr.
won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
they won a Super Bowl with him.
Yeah, I never understood that. You know, the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. The last few years, they haven't really valued linebacker much. That shit makes no sense.
That's Jerry Jones. By the way, guys, speaking of company, man, what do you think of Micah, man? I'm getting sick of it, man. He's supporting Jerry and Steven.
Oh, it's 52 brands. That's what Mike Fisher says. It's 52
He's trying
brands.
To get his money, man. That's all that is.
52 brands when you're with the Cowboys. It's all about the brand, and these players are buying into it.
Oh, what a pathetic.
That's the only thing that's the only thing that scared me when listening to Micah the other day. He was kind of buying into that part of it too. I liked what he said, but he's also getting sucked in, and I'm like, I don't know.
Saying Jerry wants to win. Come on, Jerry doesn't want to win.
He wants his money, Brian.
Jerry, I think, is numb to everything because he doesn't talk about Super Bowl anymore. He doesn't talk about it. I think he's
senile.
He's just kind of going through the motions right now.
He's kind of out there.
He's living in the past, guys. That's all he is.
He's Joe Biden.
It's been so long since he's been to one. He doesn't know how to get there.
He said
anymore.
We were supposed to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's freaking.
What he's thinking about is
I think he's living back in 1990.
Oh my goodness, Jerry.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing is in the early 90s, Jerry was desperate. He was broke. He owed people money.
He was broke.
Yeah, that's the thing is Jerry had to. The Cowboys had to win. That's the thing is they had to because they were broke. Jerry owed everyone money, and that's why he was doing crazy shit. and let Jimmy do his thing. Now that he's got a shitload of money, he's comfortable. Now that refrigerator's full, he's comfortable.
He's
but
comfortable.
My God, if we win a championship, do you realize how much money that would go through the roof?
Wow.
On sales?
Yeah. Randy, remember when Emmett was holding out after that Super Bowl 27?
Oh, yeah.
Some of 93.
But Jerry doesn't see it that way.
And they asked Jerry said, this is what Jerry said. Jerry said back in the early 70s, he flew into Dallas Love Field and he couldn't rent a car because his credit card was declined. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want to experience that feeling.
Now he's only worth $13 billion. Actually, I take that back. He's worth $24 billion now. Not just the Cowboys. He's got a lot more money now.
The poor guy, man. You should go away to FEMA.
Yeah, but he owes us fans something, in return on what we're doing for him.
I hope the fans stop buying season tickets.
They're gonna have to do something to show him that they got to change. Because if he don't change, we're gonna know in about a month from now. Because free agency starts.
All he's gonna do is raise your prices, guys.
That's what's gonna happen. Until I see it change, I have seen changes in Steven and Jerry, but that don't mean they're going to change. We'll find out.
As long as they don't go on vacation when free agency opens,
they'll be on the yacht.
Yeah.
We'll
definitely get on the boat.
Launch it, then you get rid of the problem.
You can pay $300 million for a yacht. You can't fix your football team.
I was going to do mock drafts, but we're doing too well here. I'm not going to bother. Like I said, Dak has a lot of things to deal with. Broken ankle, lost his brother, hamstring off the bone. That's a lot to deal with. Never underestimate older player. He's old for a reason. Yeah. Again, he needs help.
I hope he does. He needs to wear a visor, by the way.
Yeah. Why is that?
And because people, when things are going bad for him, and he doesn't look good.
Yeah. I think Cowboys fans will revolt if you do nothing for a kingship operations. Absolutely. If we do nothing in free agency, I'll probably get more trolls, but I'll probably lose some Dallas people. But I don't know how you can be mad at me. I don't know how you can be mad at me because I'm going to just be honest. It may be over the top sometimes. You can wear clear visors, Bobby. You just can't wear a tinted visors. You can wear clear visors.
Truth hurts.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say something about Parsons. Okay, we put it today on the early show. Would you trade Parsons to Cleveland for their number 2 pick and Myles Garrett? Because you could take that number 2 pick and turn around and trade down and pick up more picks.
I don't think that trade can happen because Myles Garrett is a great player.
He only makes $20
Cleveland
million
will
a
give
year.
you Myles Garrett as the number 2 pick.
He only makes $20 million a year for the next 2 years. That's it. $20 million. That's cheap for him.
No, but the Joneses ain't gonna spend that much so much money for that.
Never say never, because they did one time. But you're right; it's been a while. Clemente, Mark Combs brought up that Tyron Smith, a tour same as Dak, came back 100%.
Many moons.
I would say yes, but Dak has a compromised leg. I'm hearing myself. That's Thomas. But yeah, so that's the deal. No,
it's the same leg.
No, I'm hearing myself. I threw your thing. So, why would the Browns give you Garrett and the number? Drew, that's what they're saying. They're actually saying it starts out at 2 number 1s. So that's what's being reported, Drew. That's not us. That's what's being reported. Myles Garrett's almost 30, Drew.
Browns are desperate. They want some picks.
Well, the Browns aren't getting picks. Browns want to keep Myles Garrett, but Myles Garrett doesn't want to be there. So that's, they interviewed a few GMs on the ESPN, I think it was, and they said
Myles Garrett's going to go to Buffalo.
Yeah.
They're desperate.
Yeah, he's not going to Dallas, but they're saying that if you trade Micah, it starts at 2 number ones.
I don't want to trade Micah.
The
I don't know why you guys
conversation
want to trade
starts
Micah.
at 2 number ones, whether you like it or not. That's what the GMs in the NFL are saying. So
I don't want to trade Micah.
I'm not saying trade him. I'm just telling you the compensation starts. The conversation starts with 2 number ones and then probably a player. So you got to remember, Myles Garrett's starting to break down. He'll be 30. He's still unbelievable, but maybe a team like Philly, Buffalo, Washington. Look out for teams like that.
If you trade Micah for Myles Garrett and Cleveland's first round pick, you can do a lot.
Ryan, the Redskins, how many picks do they have left?
A lot.
They don't. Well, did they have? I believe they have a lot of picks. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, but they don't have anything close to the top 10. That's what Cleveland's going to want is the top 10.
That's what I mean.
Well, we don't have a top 10.
Well, we got 12.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't have the 20-something.
But you know, Jerry loves those picks like that. Jerry loves his picks.
I mean, we'll see. You know, just looking at it, what makes sense to me would be the Eagles, but they would have to give up an awful lot. No, I don't see Kansas. I see Buffalo again. They're picking 30th. I mean,
yeah, they're 30th, 32nd.
Washington's 29. That's why it plays into Dallas's cards. It really does.
I think Buffalo would be desperate. Give them 2 first rounders and a second rounder.
Then they'll probably get them then.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Buffalo. That makes a lot of sense. Drew, I'm telling you what's
they're
being
missing
said.
a pass rusher.
It may be crazy, but that's what the compensation is. He doesn't play the run, Drew, but he's arguably the best, just a pure pass rusher.
Picks, though, Brian.
He's respectfully just like one of the best pure stats will tell you he gets to the quarterback. So on a good team where they have good defensive tackles, like if you play for the Eagles, Drew, he would be a 20-sack guy. Make no mistake about it.
20 plus.
Yeah, just because you don't have to worry about the run coming off the edge.
I can see him going to the Eagles, though. I can see him go to the Eagles. Remember, they got a couple
no. Again, we're talking about trading. Eagles not trading for Micah. I'm maybe down the line, but right now he's going to.
I think he's talking about Garrett, Myles Garrett.
Oh yeah,
going to the Eagles.
Myles Garrett, yeah. Well, go ahead, Jesse.
I'm talking about Garrett.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just telling you, like Micah on the Eagles would be like over 20 sacks.
Garrett.
Yeah, Garrett, he's an interesting guy. I'm not as high on Garrett as other people, so that's just me. I love him. I think he's good, but I want somebody like a little bit younger. That's just me, though. You know, like I said. Go ahead, Thomas. I'm hearing myself.
What's up?
You might as well talk.
Well, we gonna be surprised on who get him.
Jeffrey Simmons is 27. Actually, he'll be 28. So
that's not bad.
He's 2 years younger, basically, because Myles will be 30.
Yeah, Tennessee said that they're willing to listen to offers on anybody.
Wow.
Night, Logan.
See you, Logan.
Brian sent me the clip.
Yeah,
you know, like I said earlier today, I still say Jeffrey Simmons boy too.
I agree.
I would
take that all day long because he's a proven commodity.
That's what you would need, man. You would need him, and you bring back Osa.
And then draft one.
Yeah, draft one. Doesn't have to be in the first round or even the second round. And
then say goodbye, Mozzie. Go find a job somewhere else.
Yeah, like if you trade for him, I don't know what the trade compensation with him would be. I think 12 would be too high. Maybe.
Yeah, Mozzie's a handicap for you guys. Even my Giants wouldn't take him.
Maybe 2 2s, a 2 this year and a 2
we'll
next
trade
year.
Him to you. Yeah, I think you could probably get Simmons for a 3.
I don't know about a 3. I don't know.
Well, when you're trading players that are,
he's got a big contract.
Yeah, he does have a big contract.
Yeah,
so
he does. You'd have to pay less because you're going to have to take the money on.
You have to take the money.
Trade Mozzie to the Raiders.
I think the best we can get from Maz is a 6. That's it.
I don't know if we can get a 6. I don't know. I mean, being honest, I don't know. I mean, let's face it. Why would anybody want him if they already see what we've got?
I'm not saying this is not Mark Holmes, by the way. It's somebody else who a Cowboy person on YouTube. Okay, and this is 2 years ago. Said Mozzie is as good as Jalen.
Good as
wow.
what?
Jalen.
Good Lord.
My goodness.
Trade Mozzie for a Whopper. Damn. Oh my God. This has been one long damn year for us Cowboy fans.
Yes, it has been.
It's a long year.
Mozzie for a water boy?
No, they said a Whopper.
Whopper,
Burger King.
Oh, Mozzie, poor guy.
I'm trying to see.
And I think we're going to need a tight end too. I'm not so sure that. What was our tight end's name? He didn't play with the Dam this year.
He was injured all year long.
Yeah.
That guy from Kansas City, that used to be an Eagle, isn't he a free agent?
Ertz? No, it ain't Ertz. It's Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I know who you're talking. Well, Ertz was used to be with Philly.
Randy, I hope we signed not this year. He's not going to be a free agent until 2026. Is Jordan Schultz?
Schultz. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the Texans.
Yeah, I always wanted to keep him, but a lot of Cowboy fans never liked him.
Yeah, they didn't want to pay him. That was all about money. Just
Here
like
you
what
go.
Yeah, of course. I told I said the same thing.
Here you go, Randy. Jeffrey Simmons. His cap number for this year is 22.7.
Yeah.
So that's, you are paying for, so you would pay less because of his contract.
Yeah, I think a 3 would get him. And if you could get them to pay for
I don't
a
know
little
that you
bit
get 3, but maybe. Simmons, his cap number next year is 25.4. So it's not horrible. And for the third year, it's 28.3. So, you could get out of that contract. And if you post June 1, you would save $23.5 million. So you would have him for the next 2 years. You could potentially get rid of him if you want and only have a $4.8 million cap hit. So it's that's the type of guy I would want. You give me a younger guy over a Myles Garrett. Let Myles Garrett go to Buffalo or wherever he's going, and give me a Jeffrey Simmons. Now, what is Jeffrey Simmons? Is he a 1 or a 3? Do we know? I think he's more of a 3, right? He's like a Jalen Carter type.
Yeah, he's a Jalen.
He's like a Jalen Carter.
He's a big guy.
If you get a Jeffrey Simmons, right? Maybe Mozzie could stay in the rotation, and then you probably wouldn't have Osa, and then you would just draft one. I'd rather pay Jeffrey Simmons that than pay Osa 18 to 20.
I would too. Because I think Jeffrey Simmons is a better player all around.
Yeah, I think So
he sacks the quarterback quite often too. So I would take Jeffrey Simmons.
I mean, you got to take a page out of a team who just won a Super Bowl and try and mimic what they do a little bit. So.
By the way, speaking of Jalen Carter, remember he won the Rams game for the Eagles.
If I'm not mistaken, guys, Josh Sweat, I think, is also another Philly that's available.
Yeah,
I'll tell you who Philly's got that I like is Milton.
Yeah, Milton.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to be a monster, and they got a lot to sign this offseason too. Besides them,
well, they have some key spots. So again, I think the Eagles are going to get a real good player at 32. After that, we'll see. I think they're going to get me personally. I think they're going to get an edge rusher at 32, and I think it's going to be Goodwin or Jihad Campbell.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles push a lot of the money to 2027.
Like, 3 starters there.
Yeah. Who's that, Eagles?
Yeah, Eagles.
Yeah, but I mean, again, Howie's.
I mean, Huff is gone.
Howie's pretty well.
CJ is CJ. I don't know if he's still going to be around. And then you got this guy may retire.
They got Cooper DeJean who could slide into the safety spot if they want. So
yeah,
again,
DeJean's a good football player.
I like that kid when he was playing in Iowa too.
Yeah, I did too. So
I watched a lot of Big Ten football, and
well, they made 2 good picks last year in the defensive backfield. Him and the other guy that they picked, the defensive back.
They both started in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. They have a hell of a defense. I'm gonna tell you that Mahomes he didn't know what was hitting him from side to side. They were popping him.
Eagle has landed, says GJ has 2 years left. So
2 years?
He's not going anywhere.
No.
Oh, so much for that idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like the idea. That's why we're here. We're just throwing shit up against the wall. We let the smart people in the chat get to us now. I'm playing. But yeah, I'll go a few more minutes, then we'll get out of here. I got to work tomorrow. But
I know, and Randy was talking about tight end. The Raiders have a good young tight end available, by the way.
Meyer. Meyer.
Yeah, the Notre Dame tight end that they picked. 2023.
I like a couple of the tight ends that are coming out. Yeah. I like Fannin, and I like.
I would like, You know what I would like to do? I would like to maybe try and move some guys for more picks.
I would too.
And then just be able to get that 4 back, maybe use a couple of the 5s to
move up.
Well, or just, like use a 5 to get Cooper Kupp, or, like R5. And like if you can get a 4th for a player, I mean, I just want them to be creative. Do what Howie did. Drop down. I don't want them to drop stay back
status
up.
Quo. Yeah, I agree with you. Use your picks to your advantage. Make sure you get the players you want instead of getting the players that are given to you.
Yeah. I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. So,
well, guys, we definitely need speed on offense. Getting a running back, a good power running back. There's a bunch of them in there.
Yeah, running back is covered this year, just like defensive tackle is covered this year in the draft. There's a lot of good ones.
Yeah, that's what they said about this draft.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm looking at a few.
Heck, Murray and Hampton, Johnson from Iowa, Henderson from Ohio State, Genty, of course,
Genty's going to go in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely going in round 1.
He may go to the Raiders.
He'll end up being the Raiders.
Big Sills.
The 2 teams that could go get him is the Raiders and the I believe the Bears.
Genty's a bit too high. You think he's going to go in the top 5? Because the Raiders have a top 5 pick.
No, they have 6.
Yeah, he's going to the Raiders. Watch. The Raiders are going to be interested in him.
Yeah, I think the Raiders too. That's what I've always thought. We thought that we were going to get that running back from Texas that we thought, hell, Atlanta picked him.
Yeah, Atlanta picked him up. Yeah, he played well for Atlanta, man.
Yeah, Manscaped, Mark Holmes. Mark Holmes doesn't have a cannoli.
Oh, my God, please, not him. Put that
he doesn't have a cannoli. He's a unit. He had his nuts chopped off, 28 years ago?
I'm playing
after they fired Jimmy?
I like him better with the mustache.
The Cowboys have been neutered like a cat for the last 28 years.
He's a Mark eater. He just cuts Mark to shreds when Mark's on his show.
Mark takes it.
Get the crucifix. Holy water.
Yeah.
Mark takes it.
Yeah.
Is he really an Eagles fan?
No.
No, I don't think he is.
He gets paid by Xander, who's an Eagle fan. So he'll be anything you want. He's
money talk.
He's a paid gun. He's like I don't want to be too rude. He's like a whore. Right?
He's a mercenary.
You just pay for whatever.
He's a mercenary.
He's a mercenary.
He's a Hurricane fan, a Miami Hurricane.
Yeah, he played for the Canes. Yeah.
George. He's still mad that Dallas cut his ass.
Yeah. That was back in '89.
Yeah, sitting on the bench.
The Cowboys were cutting a lot of people then.
You said it, not me, Twist. You said it. Oh shit, that's funny. All right, everybody. I think that's good. I think that was a good live stream. We didn't get to anything I was going to get to, but we had a bunch of talks. So it was fun. I was going to do mocks. We were going to talk about. Well, I'll save it.
Of course, it's always like that.
I'll save it for my own video. Right, Dustin Bosley? You'll get some buttered sausage in the morning on my video there, but Dustin. So, but yeah, well, we're going to be doing this a lot, people. I'm going to make sure that the football season isn't going to be long. We're going to do a lot of live streams. I try and work it around other people so I don't, like Mark, I know he does his Mondays and Fridays.
Really enjoying this, Brian. I really am.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you are, and I really do want to get I mean, I'm starting to get new people, and I like that. Like George, when I sat down and realized that George was on the sideline in the Super Bowl, I'm like, my God, what a lucky man you are, George. So God bless George for that, man. He's got the life right now, but I know it's not all sunshine.
Watching those cheerleaders' butts.
Yeah, well, George, he gets to hear everything. I'm sure George will tell you it is a violent football. Football is violent when you're on the field. It's very violent. People don't realize how violent the game is until you get real low. It's scarily violent.
But, are you going to do any of the combine, Brian?
Yes, I haven't sat down, and I know the first. I mean, like I'm going to work around my schedule. So, I am. If it's on at night, yes, exactly. If I'm off, we'll do it. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
And I'll make it a channel member. I just once that. I mean, that type of stuff, I have to decide whether I make it a total channel member or just bring my draft people on so we can actually have a conversation about what we're watching. Because it seems like everything turns into Dak and Eagles, and it's like I really do want to focus in on maybe the combine. We won't do that, and like we'll pick and choose when to do it. Like a full channel member and just bring on certain people. But either way, that's it for me tonight. I'll see everybody in the morning on my drive to work. Hopefully nobody, ticks me off. But, it's probably not going to happen, people. I'll probably get ticked off.
Well, at least one thing for me, that the Eagles won. I'm a Giant fan, but they gave me the day off because they're closing the entire city.
Very cool. Very cool. And everybody in the chat, thank you so much. Please hit the like for me on the way out. Coyote, thank you, my man. Now you got to make me write it and put it. Now the Hopper's back in play. It's no more Cup. The live games are over. It's only Hopper. So maybe, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday? Maybe I'll do a live stream tomorrow night. So Coyote, it'll be later. Let everybody get their
13th.
Live streams.
13th.
There it is.
Y'all have a good evening.
All right, man. I'll see you, Randy, and everybody else. I will talk to everybody. You have a good night, okay?
All right, good night, guys. See you later.
Bye.